Vayan, averigüen.
The Brazilian armed forces have reportedly been placed into a heightened state of readiness due to a significant movement of military equipment and personnel in eastern Venezuela on the border of Guyana, which has recently been detected, with officials believing that Venezuela may soon invade the small South American country in order to annex the Guyana Essequiba region, which accounts for over 60% of the nation's territory and has been claimed by the Venezuelan government. It is reported that the Venezuelan army has invaded Guyana and fighting is underway.
Hey, ¿qué pasó allá? Vayan, averigüen.
Puta, se prendió, hijo de puta. Prendió esa mierda.
Video allegedly shows Brazilian troop movements towards the Venezuelan border. Last week's news that 2 Russian cannibals had been pardoned and sent to fight in Ukraine has highlighted the ongoing trend of convicted murderers being recruited for the Russian army or Wagner Group. At least 17 are known to have been released after fighting in Ukraine, the independent Russian outlet agency. News has compiled a list of released murderers who have fought in Ukraine. Their pardons have caused great distress to relatives of the victims. Some of the killers have gone on to commit fresh crimes at home. Cases include Vladislav Kanyus, jailed for 17 years in 2022 for raping and strangling his ex-girlfriend. The police failed to respond to multiple calls from neighbors who heard her screams. He signed a military contract, served in Ukraine, survived and returned to Russia a free man. Artem Bukin raped and killed 23-year-old Tatiana Rekutina in 2022 and was jailed for 20 years in February 2023. He went to Ukraine in August 2023 and was back in his hometown by November. Vyacheslav Samoylov killed his partner Olga Shliamina, dismembered her with a hacksaw, and hid the body parts in different places. He was jailed for 9 years and 7 months, but returned home in 2023 after spending only 3 months at the front. Volgograd resident Arsen Melkonyan beat to death realtor Roman Grebenyuk after an online argument with his sister. He was jailed for 11 years in 2022, served 6 months in Ukraine, and returned home subsequently. Vadim Tekov stabbed his ex-wife to death in 2021 in view of a surveillance camera, while already under house arrest for attempted murder. He was jailed for 16 years, went to Ukraine and was set free in November 2022. He was subsequently accused in a drug trafficking case. Tsirendorzy Tsirenjapov strangled 18-year-old Ekaterina Skvortsova, dismembered her body and threw its parts into the river. Her head was found by children. He was jailed for 14 years, went to Ukraine, was released, and is now a suspect in a new murder case. Ivan Rosomakin killed a fellow villager and was sent to jail in 2020 for 14 years. He was released in 2023 after serving in the war, went back to his village, and stabbed to death 85-year-old Yulia Buiskik. Sergei Shmelev and his accomplice beat athlete Dmitry Sisygin to death and filmed a video of them having fun, covered in blood. Both received 14.5 years in prison in 2021. Shmelev was free by 2023. Dmitry Fursov and Stanislav Belusov killed 34-year-old Irina Sinelnikova, who was going to sell them a car. They were sentenced to 21 and 18 years imprisonment, respectively. Both joined the Wagner Group and were released in 2023. Dmitry Zelensky strangled his 27-year-old girlfriend Tatiana Melekina and put her body through a meat grinder in 2018, for which he received 11 years in prison. He was released in the summer of 2023 after fighting in Ukraine and was pardoned. Vladislav Korobeinikov and his brother Alexander raped and beat 19-year-old Maria Nechetnaya to death, hitting her on the head with a bat about 60 times. Vladislav fought with the Wagner Group from October 2022 and has now finished his contract. Pavel Zakharov killed the 61-year-old mother of his girlfriend by stabbing her about 50 times. The court sentenced him to 11 years in prison. He returned home in January 2023 after serving with Wagner. Kaluga resident Vladimir Tatarintsev and his brother Vladimir raped and killed 18-year-old Yana Boltenyuk. Both were jailed for 18 years in 2019. Vladimir fought for Wagner for 6 months, and by the summer of 2023, he had returned to Kaluga. Dmitry S. and his accomplice Yuri P. killed 2 World War II veterans and took their money and medals. They were jailed for 21 and 16 years respectively, but both went to fight in Ukraine. Yuri died at the front, while Dmitry returned home wounded. Stanislav Bogdanov killed magistrate Sergei Jiganov in 2012, striking his victim 40 times with a poker and finishing him off by dropping a dumbbell on his head several times. He joined Wagner in 2022 and returned home minus a leg, but with a pardon and medals. Evgeny Dudrov and his friends kidnapped a 16-year-old boy in 2003. They demanded a ransom, but strangled the boy instead. He was jailed for 12 years in 2021, but was released in 2023 after serving a 6-month contract with Wagner. Relatives have protested against such releases, but have been ignored by the Russian authorities. Lawyer and human rights activist Elena Popova notes that they only find out when they see photographs of freed murderers on social media networks. This is how they are forced to watch how justice is realized in this country. So much for protecting your rights, and the killer is now walking free. And this is not just a matter of fairness. Do you feel safe? Putin urged Russian families to have 8 children. Having many children and a large family should become a norm, a way of life for all peoples of Russia. Recently, Russian officials of all levels voiced similar thoughts. Now that Putin said this, will it become a law?
Слава Богу, сохраняется традиция крепкой, многопоколенной семьи, где воспитываются 4, 5 и больше детей. Вспомним, что и в русских семьях, у многих наших бабушек, прабабушек, детей было и по 7, и по 8, и того больше человек. Давайте эти замечательные традиции сберегать и возрождать. Многодетность, большая семья должны стать нормой, образом жизни для всех народов России. А семья – это не просто основа государства и общества, это духовное явление, источник нравственности. Поддержка семьи, материнства, детства должны охватывать работу всех без исключения сфер государственного управления, нашу экономическую, социальную, инфраструктурную политику, просвещение и образование.
I dreamed about an apple for a year. I lost 20 kilos. Our defenders return home from Russian captivity.
Вітаємо вдома.
Спасибо. Мінус 20 кілограм.
Russian woman detained for a sandwich with red caviar. Moscow resident Gulina Nauman shot a video of herself sitting on Red Square with a 14-kilo container of red caviar and a huge sandwich in her hands. For this, she and her friend were detained. Law enforcers considered it as an unauthorized action because of the size of the sandwich and the amount of caviar.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comment section. The membership link is in the description.
did 6 rescues in 6 days. You know, he's doing the job every day.